Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer, and I'm still playing Pax Romana. It's turn 8, 125 to 100 BC, and it has basically now become a race between the East and Rome. The East is clearly in the lead. They got 48 points. The Romans have 37. Carthage is still also at 39, but they took a bad hit in the last turn. They lost Spain to the Romans, and that will probably knock them out of the game. Or maybe not completely out of the game, but they won't get a chance to win that anymore. I'm pretty sure about that. Greece is already in that position for a few turns. They are just sitting there, controlling their home territory, happy to survive. And so the Romans are going to try to attack the East, try to capture their cities so that they don't get all these civilization points during the victory point phase. But it's going to be very hard for them, to really do a lot of damage here. The East has a massive army, and we'll see. So the Greek player has actually already started. There was a bounteous harvest, which gave the Carthaginians an additional stability. So they are no longer in unrest, but again stable. And there is not a lot the Greeks can do in this turn. They have purchased, I think, only a single unit here in Corinth to improve that to a city so that they get a little more income. Apart from that, I don't see a lot of options for them. So, yeah. I'm going to wait here a little longer before I do flip that into a city. Maybe it's not a good idea to have at least one defensive unit here in my homeland. Actually, there is one more in Hellas. Okay, so then it's the Romans. And of course they also pay a buck. Draw a card. And that is a change in political scene. A new party tyrant dictator has assumed control of your power and decides to wipe the slate clean. Wow. Now that might change things quite a bit. Do all of the following. Return all of the cards in your hand to the event deck immediately and shuffle. Okay. Well, there are no cards. So all we got to do is we got to shuffle that stuff back in. Return all your opportunity objective markers to the OO pole. That sucks. It sucks very, very badly, actually. Because that's probably... Yeah, that is probably the game now for the Eastern player, because no more points, no more extra points for goal, no more extra points for Central Europe. On the other hand, they might still be first when it comes to GOPs, because they are so big. So maybe the consequences are actually not that big. But now, the East might actually have a chance also to win in GOP points against the Romans. We definitely have to check that. Increase your stability by +2. Yes, increase. It's not all bad. Well, it is. It's all bad. So I just counted the GOPs, and the East is still no match for the Romans. The East is about at 16 or something like that. The Romans are about they have about 23 or so. So even if they lose a few provinces here in Spain, let's say, they would still be in the lead. So these 7 points for the GOPs, they are pretty sure for the Romans. But I forgot one thing, because they control 4 provinces, at least following my house rule when it comes to these civil war point, then also Hispania counts as if they controlled the whole province. I have now to roll a die, or 2 dice, and see if we see a civil war. And if I roll a 9, we will. No, this time there is no civil war. We've seen that already in the last turn. The effect wasn't too big, so, but now it could have actually slowed down the Roman player quite a bit. Okay, so what are they going to do now? Well, they have their armies sitting here. A massive army, as you can see here. We got an overall 40 or 10 legions, and we got 7 cav. That means when it comes with this legion cavalry, these are 14 cavalry units. This is a lot. And I gotta try to figure out now how to get into the Eastern player's territory. I wonder if I can somehow cross the Aegean Sea and then find a place to land here. I have no galleys with me, with these guys. I have here a galley, but that's not enough. I mean, I could try to bring that here, but let's assume I don't do it. Let's assume I only want to do it by transport. Then I have to make sure that I can avoid a naval attack. Well, the naval ambush won't work because the Eastern Fleet is down here in Judea, and there is no other galley squadron anywhere on the map. There's also no naval transit point here where I could be forced to stop. So therefore, I might actually consider maybe moving like this. And maybe like that. Attacking here at Abydos. That could be an option. I cannot cross the strait here because there you have to control both sides. But maybe it is actually the easiest option to get there. The other possibility would be to move across the Black Sea like that and then land here somewhere. But that sounds pretty complicated to me. So I guess I'm going to try to land here at Abydos. We'll see. So that's good. That's good. That's 10 movement points. That's amazing. So that means they can now move 1 space, 2 spaces, 3, 4. No, wait a second. There is a simpler way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that destroys these guys. So they're down to 5 now. And from there on, they can now go down here with an amphibious attack against the Abydos. I'm not sure. Were there 2 or 1? Damn, I don't remember. I think there were 2, but I don't really know anymore. Or was there just 1 guy? Shit. Well, it probably doesn't matter too much. So that attack will cost me 4 additional points. 1 for embarking, 1 for sailing, 1 for debarking, 1 for the attack. And I have 5 points left, which is just enough to be allowed to do an attack because I would be allowed to land in another space if the attack should fail. And that is a requirement when doing an amphibious attack. So let's see, we have, I don't even know, I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. 40 units versus, okay, let's say there are 2, that gives me 20 shifts. I mean, come on, yeah, okay, we got the cav. I think we cannot use our cavalry supremacy when doing an amphibious attack, but anyway, we still have the 2 shifts for the leader, and in addition, we have to subtract 2 shifts because it's an amphibious attack. But okay, it is pretty ridiculous anyway. So all we got to check is for the leader death, and we're fine. So that means at that point we entered Asia Minor, and we are officially at war with the East. Now, we only have 1 space left, or 1 point left, so that means we cannot attack anymore. Therefore, we're sitting there right now. Well, Carthage wasn't too lucky. They moved their fleet here, 2 galley squadrons with a strength of 4, to that space with the pirates and try to destroy them. All they needed was a 2, which they didn't get. They only rolled a 1. They didn't lose anything. You don't lose anything in this case, but they had to retreat, and that major move was wasted. But they want to destroy the pirates because then these 2 islands are no longer isolated. They managed to ship a heavy infantry from Lilybaeum here through although there were storms, they were blown of course a little bit, but they managed to continue and then ended up finally here at Olbia, and now they also control Sardinia. So if they make that, if they bring 1 guy here to Melita, they actually control the whole Sicilies. There would be an extra territory and things won't look that terribly grim anymore. But still their big goal is to recapture Spain. Right now it's not looking good though because they are just wasting their major moves to destroy these pirates here. Okay, now it's the East. By the way, I think I forgot to mention that the Romans have built the town of Gades here. So now it's the East, and now it's getting interesting. They have a pretty decent leader with a campaign rating of 6. So if they're lucky, they might be able to move here and attack this guy, the Roman army. And it's going to be definitely interesting. So first we got to pay, of course. Raise the militia. Well, maybe we will need that card later in the game. And now we roll for movement. That's a 3. These are 9 movement points. Now let's see. We're going to move here 1 space. Then we can embark and debark, and we can move up to here. We got to do a continuation roll, same here. Then we can move to Rhodes, which doesn't really help. We can move here through Xanthos, there, then maybe to Pergamon. That's a big deal, but we will see. So, okay. So first I'm going to move here, that's the first point. Then we're going to spend 3 more points to get to Seleucia. So we are at 5 at that point, and then we got to roll if we're allowed to move on. And yeah, that's fine, so we can move to Zide. Yeah, still lucky, but really lucky here. Then we gotta move to Xanthos. Well, yeah, I think I want to do that. Well, from Zide, I have now 5 points left. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would bring me to Pergamon. Well, I could do an interception from there. Maybe I should actually go there. It's not such a bad position. If I get attacked, on the other hand, I cannot use my cavalry there. Oh boy, that's a tough nut. We have 12 cavalry. Okay, so right now I'm sitting here at Pergamon, and if the Romans would attack there, it would give me 2 shifts to my favor. So it's pretty even. I think they get 1, maybe 2 shifts. So it's pretty high risk if the Romans want to really try that attack. Okay, I got still a few minor moves left. I wonder what to do. Could try to bring this guy in here. Maybe that's something I want to do. Okay, that's a 2. So yeah, I can actually bring him in here. And yeah, I think that's it for now then. Okay. I could... No, I don't have enough money to build cities here. Okay, I think I'm done here with the Eastern player. So Carthage was picked, and they've drawn a card that also might shake things up. The Barbarian Invasion. Roll 2d6 and consult the invasion table for who, what, when, and where. So let's see what we got here. Over there is the invasion table. That's a 6, and these are the Germans, and that means probably a lot of trouble for Rome. So I gotta check how that exactly works. So the Greek player could actually, the Carthaginian player could decide where to place them, and he wants to move into goal with the Germans. So he wants to place them in Germania Inferior, and he can take 2 dice plus 2 cavalry plus a 2-5 leader. Wow, that's a 9. So we got 9 units. +2 cavalry. And a 2-5 leader. Ignatius. Why not? Or is there a generic guy? Yeah, let's take that one. Okay. And I'm going to place them right here at Atuatuca. And we're going to move against Bibrax. So let's see. Wow. Okay, these are 10 movement points. Really bad news for the Romans here. So we might actually try to run away. But that's only a single point, but this is enough to go to here, to Lutetia. So that means that one province is already lost for the Romans, Belgica. Then we're going to do an attack here. So we've lost now 4 points, 4 movement points. And now we're going to see an attack against Lutetia. So we got 9 versus 6. We have a leader, so it's probably not that bad for the Romans. Nah, wrong table. Yeah, that's 1 shift. Plus another shift for the leader. So 2 shifts for the Germans. That wasn't too good. Shit. Yeah, that sucks. Well, okay, I'm going to reduce that to 30%. So that means I will lose 3. But they also will lose 30% of 6, so they're going to lose 2. That means they're going to remove 1 from the walls. So they are still in a pretty good shape here. Okay, I'm going to try another attack. And therefore, I got to check for leader loss. I'm fine. And well, now we don't have a shift here, but 1 for the leader. So 1 shift for the Germans. Okay, that's better. So, I can reduce that to 10%. I gotta check things here. So I can still do 2 attacks. Now I lost another unit here, but the Romans also had to reduce their legions, so they're down now to 3. I got 5. That's probably... So that's 5 versus 3. Might be 2 shifts if I'm lucky, but no. Still only 1 shift, plus another one for the leader. And I gotta check again for the leader, damn. Yeah, the leader is fine. So now we do the combat roll. Okay, so I can reduce this now by 2. So I will probably take another hit. But I do 40% damage. Is that enough? 3? Probably not, I don't know. Yeah, it is. It is. They will lose their last units. So that means that the city now is an independent city. Or an independent town. It also means that Lugdunensis is lost for the Romans. And I'm pretty sure the Germans have to plunder. I think they will always do that, because these are barbarians. Barbarian armies must attempt to sack and plunder, but only to determine if they may continue moving. Okay, so what we do is we roll. Well, basically it's just, if we roll below the campaign rating, I think, yeah, we are allowed to continue moving. So if we roll 5 or less. So yes, we can continue. We got 2 more movement points left. So I'm going to move down here to Zuindinum. Okay. And now the thing is, I'm still now allowed to take a major move with Carthage, but I could also activate these guys in the following turns instead of a major move. That is a German-specific rule. Usually during barbarian invasions, they only enter the game once, they get activated once, and then they just sit there for the rest of the turn. In this case, every player who gets an activation marker can let his major move go and instead activate that barbarian army and do whatever he wants with it. So now, in addition, we want to take our major move here with the Carthaginian player. The first time you do this activation, you can do it for free. So that's why Carthage can do here another major move. And they're going to try to attack the pirates again. And this time they managed to destroy them. And they got to roll 2 dice. And that's not enough. So the fleet sits now here on that naval transit point, which is also pretty bad, but we can do it. I think we can use then minor movements here to just bring them somewhere else, because if they would remain here until the end of the turn, they would be destroyed. So next is then Rome, and they have revenues and stability. If you have more than 12 in your treasury, well, they don't. They just have 12. It's a little unlucky, but at least there is also no penalty there, so they're fine. And, well, let's see what they can do. So the Roman player, he had an interesting choice again. He could simply attack here, Cyzicus, but they're pretty strong in there. They have 5 units, and so that's 10. There might be also an interception possible. So I don't know if that's really to his advantage. So my idea was now to use naval movement, move along the south coast of Asia Minor. There are no fleets here, except for that one. So I think the ambush is 3 spaces away. So as long as they don't move to Salamis or Tripolis, they should be safe. So that, and they also cannot move in here to Tarsus, because they are the pirates and they don't have any galley squadrons left. But they could at least move to Seleucia And let me see, they got 7 points here, so that would cost them 3 points to get there. Then it would be 1, 2, 3. That would not be quite enough to actually... I thought about attacking Antioch, but that would not work out that way. Well, I could also move to Xanthus, just to avoid the interception here, and then make an attack against Miletus, for example. That sounds also like a really good option. Yeah, I think I want to try that. I want to move to Xanthus and then attack Miletus. So I got to do a naval transport, and I'm not absolutely sure if I can intercept here to Ephesus, or if I can try to do it while this guy is doing a naval transport. I don't really think so, because they just sail, you know. I mean, usually naval units and land units don't interfere with each other. So I will allow an interception if the guy misses his continuity roll and has to attack here. Then we will see an interception or an interception attempt. Otherwise, they would be allowed to move through here, I guess. So first we got to pay 1, 2, 3 movement points, and they have now an extra movement point in case they should fail. Actually, they need 2 extra movement points, because if they now fail their continuity movement, they need 1 extra movement point to attack. But to be allowed to attack, you also need the extra movement point that you would need to go back. So let's see, we start moving now here to Ephesus, and we roll. And that is definitely good enough. Now we continue our movement to Miletus. Oops. Wow, that looks tough. I'm gonna roll the other die again. Okay, so we got a leader, which allows us to subtract 1, but I think if we roll more than a 3, our attempt, we have to stop there. So yeah, we're fine here. So actually we made it to Xanthus, and from there we can now attack Miletus without the negative modifiers of an amphibious assault. So we pay 2 more here, and we have 7. So that means we got 40 versus 7. That means we got 6 shifts on our side, plus 1 more shift for the leader. I'm actually considering leaving the city here. Maybe moving into Sardis, but that's only a town, so that also sucks. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I cannot hold that city, so I'm gonna roll a die, try to evade there. Yep, so that works out. I can actually go to... I think I'm going to move to that army here. And now it's even easier for the Romans. We'll see what happens. Well, that wasn't too great. But they have a massive yeah, they definitely can take that city out. There is no doubt. So Miletus is now theirs. It has become a Roman city now. The walls are obviously down. The Romans have 2 more spaces, or 2 more. They could try another attack here against that town. Do they want to do that? Hard to tell. I'm not sure. Maybe so. Maybe they won't. Okay, the Romans have to make a really hard decision here. Well, first of all, do I want to move on here to Sardis, take that, give this army the chance to attack me in open battle? Or do I want to remain here, rebuild the walls, and risk a siege? I think during a siege I have a better chance if I sit there at Miletus. I wonder if it is allowed to rebuild the walls right in this turn. I guess I should be. Pays 1 talent. Yeah. So I think he actually could rebuild the city walls right during this turn. He has definitely the money to do that. But the problem with that is he wants to take out the eastern player. And he cannot do that by just capturing 1 or 2 cities. On the other hand, the eastern player has a ton of elephants here. And it is easily possible that these elephants will eliminate a big part of the Roman cavalry, so that the eastern player then has the advantage in cavalry, and then the situations for the Romans might be even worse. So I'm really not sure what I want to do here. I think I'm simply going to roll a die. On a 1 to 3, I'm going to restore the walls here, and fuck it. I think I'm going to move on. I'm going to, let's say on a 1 to 2, I'm going to restore the walls, otherwise I'm going to move on. Okay, let's move on. I want to win that game. So, we move in here. Now the problem is, I probably have to leave 1 unit behind, because otherwise that guy can simply... it's not that simple. If he moves in here, he would lose Lycia right away. Damn, this is all hard to tell. Okay, I'm going to move in there with all my units, and we're going to see possibly a big battle. And depending how that battle goes, we can still then decide if we try to hold these cities, or if we lose that battle, I mean, then it's probably over anyway for the Romans. So, we got to check the interception table here. which is not here. Oh boy. There we are. Okay, we got a tactical rating of 2. We're intercepting, so it's just a +2, and we need a 12 or higher. So we need a 10. That's gonna be hard. Nope. No 10 here, so the interception is not successful. That means we can attack here, and actually I'm also gonna simply retreat. With my cavalry superiority, I think I can prevent that guy from retreating. I can subtract a -3. Yeah, it's still enough to move in here, and these are all valuable points for the Eastern player. And I'm pretty sure I don't have to roll the die here. Sardis goes to the Romans. The only thing of interest is here the leader loss check. Okay, Romans are fine, and that also means that the Roman turn is done now, and we're going to place a -1 marker here. And at that point, Ionia is lost for the East, so they will lose 1 point. It is not Roman though, because nobody controls more than the half of the spaces at the moment. So after a few activations, which were not too interesting, the Greeks activated the German invaders. They took out the garrison here at Aquitania and then moved here to Tolosa, so 2 less provinces for Rome. The Carthage had to do a stability check, and they lost 2 stability, so it is down at unrest again. The Greeks, I don't know, or maybe I think it was the East actually, they placed the pirates now here, which means it's going to be hard for Carthage, or at the moment it's going to be impossible for them to bring one of these guys easily here. But now, as I take a closer look, they might be able to move this way, and then simply would end up here. So I might consider maybe it's better to place them here. I think I'm allowed to do that. Let me see. Pirates. An uncontrolled pour. Wait a second. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, they can actually be placed here, and that means if the Greeks want to take that city here, they have to take their Gallic squadrons first, or if the Carthaginians want to do that. Well, okay. So that will slow them down a little more. In addition, the Romans activated, they've built a few cities here, or I think at least one city. Here, that one. And I don't remember if I already mentioned that town here, Lusitani. In addition, they destroyed the cities of Sardis and Miletus. They realized that this is probably the best thing they can do to harm the East, destroying as many cities as possible and taking away civ points and also GOPs from the Eastern player. Apart from that, not much happened, but now we see a big battle, maybe the biggest battle of the game at Xanthus. the two armies, the army of the East and the army of Rome, are gonna fight each other. And I've placed them here. And they are pretty similar in size, actually. Both have 10 heavy infantry, respectively legions. Of course, the Romans' legions are stronger, so they have a battle rating of 40. The heavy infantry only has a battle rating of... There might be actually even more. Yeah, they have 30, but an additional one, 33. And then we have all these little guys here. So that's 39 in the end. The East has 9 cavalry, the Romans only have 7. And the East has a ton of elephants. So in the end it looks probably a little better for the East. Simply because they can now commit their elephants, try to destroy the Roman cavalry, and in that way then do a lot of damage to the Roman army. But as I said, the Romans cannot simply take a city and then wait here. They were activated, their activation marker was picked before the Eastern activation marker, so they had to do something, and that gave the East then the opportunity to hunt the Romans down and force them to fight a battle and not to go through a siege. So there is no shift for the numbers, that's for sure. Now let's see. I'm going to commit elephants. The question is how many? Well, there are 7 calf. I have 10 elephants. I think I want to commit maybe 6 of them. Let's say I could take out 4 of these calf, then the Romans would still have 8 because of their legionary cavalry, which means that I have only cavalry superiority. You know what? I'm going to commit them all. Maybe I'm lucky and can get a cavalry supremacy. That would give me 3 shifts, and that's a lot of stuff. By the way, even the leaders have the same tactical quality. So in the end, now it's all about the cavalry. And yeah, let's roll now for the elephants. Let's see if they were worth their money or not. Okay, so basically we want to roll low. We got 10 elephants. Yep. Now let's see. Okay. A 4 is no effect. A 3, I think, kills the elephant and negates 1 cavalry unit. Okay, and yeah. Well, we should have another elephant here. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Okay, so 1 is killed. No effect twice. Okay, at least we can use these guys again. Let me continue. Okay, that is a good one. The 1 is pretty cool because the 1 says we can negate 1 cavalry unit and limit an additional enemy battle point. Well, just 1, but okay. And then we have to destroy the elephant. So I think the Romans will flip one of these guys. Negate another calf. Okay, I think I got now 4 elephants left. but we also have 5 Roman cavalry left, so we'll see. Yeah, okay, we managed to negate another Roman cavalry and they lose another unit, but for the 6 I lose an elephant and also lose a unit. And there is now only, actually 1 goes here and 2 remain. So yeah, I got 2 remaining elephants now. Let's see. Okay, I think that's okay. That's not very good. We can negate another cavalry, but I'm gonna lose another elephant and 1 unit. Not sure how happy I am with the result here. Not too happy though. So that means we got 3 cavalry here plus 3 enemy cavalry, so that's 6. Now I got 9. I think, now if I'm not mistaken, I need 3 times the number of cavalry units than the other guys have. So exactly that is the case. I have only cavalry superiority, so that means in the end it's only 1 shift in my favor. Nothing good here with the cards, so this is gonna be a massive battle and it can be a real important one. Okay. Well, it seems like the Roman have won that battle, but not too horrible. So we do 10 damage to the Romans and 20% damage to me. That's not good, but we still live. Okay, so the Army of the East has 3 points left. They don't attack a second time, they move here, 1, 2, 3, and end their movement here. And yeah, well, the Romans lost a single legion, 4 points. The East has lost 9 points. So, definitely not the best, but also not terrible for them, I think. Okay, well, I guess as a minor move, I actually want to bring these guys here, simply to block the movement path for the Romans directly into my home country. Maybe as a second minor move I might consider moving to Rhodes, but then I have to do some continuation rolls. I'm fine with that one. Fine with that one. And now I can move to Rhodes. So now it's also impossible for the Romans to attack here. Okay, that's the end of the turn of the East. And we have Carthage again. So I guess what they want to do is they want to try to grab the Sicilies, so they might as well use their fleet here, attack the pirates, and then maybe with a minor move grab Melita. I think that's probably the best for them now. Well, the Carthaginian player has drawn a rebellion card, and he was unlucky that we have a rebellion here at Taros in Sardinia. Well, I think I'm going to use my heavy infantry trying to kill these guys. So yeah, that's a 4, so that means I can do an attack here with 2 points. I got 3 shifts here. Let's hope for the best. That is not too bad. I can bring this to 70%. And that should be enough to... Yeah, yeah, that's definitely enough to destroy these guys. I also take a hit, but that's okay. Okay, so, and then I'm going to show quickly the attack here against the pirates. Why not? We got 4 battle points, so we need a 2 to be successful here, and we just have that. Remember, before, against these pirates, I actually screwed that up. So I ended up here now, and now I can try to get some... Yeah, I'm going to try to get the garrison here, so I'm just simply move it like this. And now we're sitting here. Well, actually, before I got to do that, I got to roll. I need a 3 to be successful here. Yeah, I got that. Okay, so now I actually control the Sicilies, which will give me a few more points and a little more income, at least something. So, the Greek player activated, he drew a tribal resurgence, placed tribes in Belgica and Lugdunensis. So, for the near future, control of Gaul is definitely gone for the Romans. In addition, he moved in here, and the Romans forgot to leave a unit behind there in Mysia Superior. So the Greek player simply managed to take back that province. He also has built a town there, and then he moved on and destroyed a garrison of the Romans in Sirmium, therefore also now controlling Pannonia. And the Greek player is now out of turmoil, and it seems like the Roman Empire is kind of over its peak. This adventure here in the east, which was kind of his last chance to maybe win the game, was probably just a little bit too much. But it's definitely not over yet. And it's Carthage again, the last activation. Pay a buck, draw a card. Stability and opportunity, they are stable. So they could either draw an additional marker, or they could pick an opportunity marker, and that's what they already have 3. That's a shame. They now could have picked the Sicilies, so they were very unlucky here. So all they can actually do is they can bring another marker in there, which will not help them because they simply cannot pay that. Therefore, I don't have to do it anyway. Let me see what I can do. Not sure. I mean, I'm considering maybe... Okay, I want to leave the infantry here. I think I might want to move here to Tingi. So in the next turn I could then hire units there and start a new attack against Spain. That's a 3. It's a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, okay, that brings me to Ziga. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the Carthaginians. It's the Greeks again. Well, also not a lot to do for them. The Poliocrates effect, a nice little card if you want to attack a city. Which is kind of tempting. We have here Virunum, but they don't have a lot of money left, so probably does make a lot of sense. They also don't want to lose their units here. They want to hold that province. So I think they might consider moving to Rezia, though. I mean, that is basically for free. They could move in there. I think they want to do that, but the problem is there is only one single unit there. Well, they could split that up in garrisons and then grab the city here. But then we might see an attack from this guy. I don't think I want to take that risk. The Romans have drawn a change in foreign policy. The affected player randomly selects one opportunity objective chit to return to the pool after blindly selecting a new one. You may not return the one you just selected. Well, the Romans didn't have any objective markers, so therefore I allowed them just to select one. Oh, wait a minute. Randomly select one. Okay, so I will allow them to simply take that one. That is number N. Control any of the following independent territories: the Sicilies, Germania, the Chersonese or Rhodes plus Crete. 2 victory points for each of these controlled during the victory phase. Okay, that's not so bad. So they might try to gain control over Germania and maybe also here the Chersonese. I mean, they're right around the corner right now. So that might give them some additional points. Okay, the turn is finished here. The Romans didn't do another attack. There is no real reason to do one. They would have taken possibly a few losses, not much, who knows, maybe not. But then they would probably be isolated there somewhere, and then they had to roll for attrition, which might have cost them quite a few units. And the East still has the financial resources to simply build up another army. The Romans cannot recruit any units there because they don't control the province. The provinces are isolated from their home country, so they cannot recruit there. So in the end, this is just kind of a lost army on some military adventure. So what they did is they took Cyzicus, another city of the east, and at least they don't have to roll for attrition right now. So we're going to see now, we're going to go to the victory phase. It's kind of interesting, all these units are also isolated. Shit. So that means we also got to roll for attrition there. Yeah, they're now all isolated because of these Greek units here. Well, let's see. Okay, actually I think these guys are not isolated. They can trace a line of communications through the German tribes as long as these spaces are not occupied. Same applies for these guys. I mean, apart from the fact that they're sitting in a city, they can also trace a path through an enemy-controlled territory as long as it is not occupied. I didn't know that. Okay, we can see an interesting effect now here. Again, the Roman player made the most points during this turn, but he lost a ton of GOPs, nearly 10 or so, basically because of his loss of his opportunity objectives. There was this event card at the very beginning of the turn, if you remember that. Some new political power takes over and they go a completely new direction. Therefore, he lost all his opportunity objectives. That did cost him a lot of points. In addition, he lost big parts of goal. So he is down to 14 GOPs. That is massive. He might actually lost more than 20, maybe even just 20 or so. He was so far ahead. He was nearly, I think there was a 30 or something. So yeah, I think he lost nearly about 20 or so. And that's pretty crazy because the East also has now 14 GOPs. So they are shared the reward for the first two players. Therefore, they gained both 5 points. Carthage is not that far away with 12. Greece managed to get 7, but that's of course not worth a lot. With the Civ points, the Roman actually managed to reach some of their goals. They have now the most Civ points with 27, and the player of the East lost quite a few. He's down to 25. So basically, I don't know, he lost 3 cities or so and a town, something like that. So that means that the Roman player got 5 points, but still 3 points for the player of the East. So in the end it was 10 points for Rome, 8 points for the East, and that is just not enough. So I think maybe if the Roman player would have kept his position at the top of the territory scale, he might have maybe a little chance left. But so I think it's going to be very hard. The East is still 9 points ahead. There are only 2 more turns to go. So I'm pretty sure this game is nearly over. I think I'm going to play it out anyway. It's going to be interesting if the Romans can hold Spain. Carthage can now hire quite a nice army here. They already have a few units. So with a new army they might try to invade Spain a second time, and then maybe they can get it. They also have a nice income now with the Sicilies. They're not in such a bad shape as a few turns ago. Even Greece might come back a little bit, although I doubt it. Rome can regain control of Gaul. That should be not such a big problem, but it will take time. You know, there are 2 tribes here. There are these guys. Maybe their goal should be following their political goal, which is taking, for example, the Chersonese and Germany. I think that the Romans will go in the last turns more for consolidation, finish the game as a strong second power, and accept kind of that defeat against the East. But we'll see about that. We'll see. Maybe they can. I mean, it's hard to tell, it's 9 points. So if they can, let's say, if they can make 5 points per turn, they might be able to win that. And if they can regain the lead for the GOPs, then this would be 3 points. And if they can also keep the lead in the CIF points, that would be 2 points. So there might still be hope. They could actually make 10 points. So maybe we will see an interesting finish. Who knows? Hope to see you then or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.